everything's going good.
Now I'm curious what that was all about, right?
My computer I had to do like an update on it yesterday, and I think maybe
Most likely something happened there where there was two of you somewhere along the way.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Or I think because I have 2 Facebook accounts, it might have, when I logged in with Facebook, it did my other account.
Yeah. Awesome.
Okay, so yeah, Bernadette was telling you about me. So I did, I worked for a 5-star resort, like destination resorts and spas that was my first job. So I did that for 8 years. I started as an esthetician, but then I became, like within a year, I became the director of the whole like spa director, spa and the recreation director. And I had a team of 100, and just really loved what I did. And we had a lot of like spiritual training. Like we would learn Balinese massage, and they would like fly people. That was back in, 23 years ago. People spend a lot of money on training still then. So
right, I know. I wish they would do more of that.
Right.
Yes.
And that's why we need, as coaches, that's what we are. Before, our companies just provided us with coaches, and
right.
So that's what we need to do for people now, I believe, because the companies used to invest that, but because turnover and all the
Great
other
insights. You're dead on with that one. I remember those days where that was the case, and now it's like that's totally become the people part has totally been pulled away from any kind of corporations.
Yes.
And I think that's why people are suffering. Truly
happy, and I think that we are meant to like continue learning, and evolving, and that's why there's turnover. It's it's not like when my dad went to a company and stayed there until I retired.
Right.
Everyone's like moves around every couple of years.
This is true. Yeah, I agree.
That's where they need us for coaching for all kinds of every aspect of our life, because we just.
But I wonder about that. I wonder if people are moving because they're searching. They're searching for that thing that they're not getting, which is that connection in the workplace. They're looking for that, to be able to feel that home somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And if they can't find it at that one place, they keep going to the next until they look at themselves, and that's where it's at.
Right. Exactly. And I think people don't really feel like loyal because they never create like that holistic experience, like that family bond that you have, that you would have when you like grew together as a company. So I think that there's really an opportunity for coaches and mentors and spiritual guides and health advisors to make a difference in the way the world is heading.
I think you're dead on. I think it's a great mission. And so right now you're working out, since you're not doing those through corporations, you're doing this.
Yeah, so I did that, and then I had my own studio for I had a few studios for 13 years. I had brick and mortars, and very successful, loved what I did. But my children, one day my daughter came home, and when anyone asked me when I was little what I wanted to be, I was always like a mom. That's what I wanted to be when I grew up. And so Jenna Grace came home, and she's like, I'm like, what do you want to be? She was going to do a speech at school, and she's like, I want to be a real mom. And I'm like, what's a real mom? And she's like, one that doesn't have to work all the time. So, so I'm like, okay. Cause I was like trying to be independent, cause I am independent, but so that's what I decided. I need to like go online and, so that I can have time, freedom, and manage it all. And, I want to also help parents parent wiser, like a back to the basic approach. And
but don't you think it's all interconnected when you think about that? It's also about, let's bring this back down to that, like you think about the chakra, let's bring it back down to the root chakra and just really just focus on that part to grow from there.
And do it like as a family, as like I want to have sisterhood circles, but include our daughters, and our sons can come sometimes, because I think that whole community and circle and support. I study a lot of Native American principles. But I think it's very important. I think it's really what's wrong with our society.
You focus. You do a lot of work around negative. You said negative families.
Native American.
That's what I thought. I'm like negative. I'm like, I don't think you said. Yes, I love what you share online about Native American. I'm just barely like tapping a little bit into it, but it's beautiful. There's so much
Yes.
to learn from that. I just recently had a soul retrieval done by someone dear to my heart, and to back up, I was burned at a very young age at 5 years old, so I'm burned, like my whole front part of my body is burned.
How?
And
How
then on this side here, so my nightgown caught on fire, and it's like burned underneath here.
Wait,
and
in an automobile? Sorry to
no, my nightgown caught excuse me, my nightgown caught on fire. I was being independent at a very young age, climbing up on the counter to get my own breakfast. My mom was in the shower. You know, my dad was working night shift, so she was, you know, getting ready to start her day. Started a day, right? I have a 16-year-old to this day, and I remember even thinking back when he was younger, I'm like, wow, how would I have reacted if my child got burned at that age? I think it would have been devastating. But so yeah, so she heard me yelling when she was in the shower, and she grabbed me and threw me out in the snow. We were living in Massachusetts at the time, and that was, bless her heart, the best thing she could have done. But bringing it back to, like you said, about I don't know how I got sidetracked on that whole burn thing, but Native American, my soul retrieval there was such a big piece of me, and I'm 51 now, and it took me that long to really feel whole. I feel like, and there was like, I went to therapy, I did my holistic energy healing, but then when I finally met these wonderful, so I am trained in integrated energy therapy through the angelic healing. I met these beautiful people, and I understood then that these were going to be the people that would help me heal. And they brought back my old soul, and I felt it. It was like almost like all the lines just, yes.
The goosebumps are like the size of grapes all over my body. Like my hair feels like it's standing up.
It was amazing. So totally respect what you're doing, because there's such a depth to what that can do for somebody. So I'm here to confirm, please continue to do what you're doing there, because it's awesome.
And I want to teach, because I think a lot of the healing capacity is like within ourselves. And I want to teach people how to self-heal. You know, I think a lot of it is inside of you. And
it sure is. And that's what we as coaches are here to do. It's not necessarily to give you advice, but it's to be mentors, to be your guide, to show you that it can be done. And we'll steer you in certain ways to hopefully speed you along a little bit, so you don't have to wallow in that like heavier processing part where you feel like it's like you're on your own. Like, you're not on your own. We're not meant to be doing these things on our own. It's supposed to be, it's about sisterhood, it's about collaboration. And you see it when someone feels isolated and they pull away from the world. It's mainly because they're not feeling like they're part of the puzzle, and they truly are. They just don't know what part it is yet.
Exactly.
So it's so it gets me so fired up, and I believe 3 years ago I started to understand energy healing and energy work, and I truly believe that's the root of what we are as people are going to be able to bring to what society needs today.
Absolutely. It's good. It's going to be a change. You know, I think from just all the negativity and the terror and the hardship in the world and depression and all the emotion, that's what's going to energy and a lot of love is really what's going to change. Yes. A lot of energy healing is just love and unconditional love and pure love. And I've healed lots. You know, my son was born early, and I've done the same, so I know firsthand that it definitely can work. And I think the more people, I didn't know for sure if it could be like transferred online, because I was an energy healer with my hands on at first, and I this past year, so I've just been studying it, and it definitely, I can, like when you were telling me your story, I could feel it all over my
and even as you're speaking, I didn't believe it until I actually felt it, but it's being truly, it's the connection, it's the energy that's going through us right now, and I totally feel it. It's just very, isn't it profound to think of that though? But this, with the internet and the connections of wireless and whatnot, that's truly what it is too. It's just all energy being transferred back and forth. We're just carrying it through there.
Yes.
So it's amazing what we can do if we could just sometimes step away from our routines. I think we get caught up sometimes in our day-to-day that we don't do as much as we could be doing with it. And it's being mindful of, where do we really spend our energy? Do we do it in front of a TV? Do we do it in listening to that negativity? Do we do it in buying into somebody? It's like, it's like, no, we're here. We need to be that one that's going to encourage them to look at things differently. And it's a matter of just shifting it just a slight, perspective. It's huge.
Yes, it doesn't take much.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so tell me, first introduce yourself just so that everyone online will know your name, because I already know your name. But
Yes, I'm Nancy Hickson.
Okay.
And my business is Peace of Self, and it's healing the real you. And I truly believe where that comes from is the piece of who we are is sometimes in search of, but I want to bring peace to people to be able to connect all of those pieces of who we are, because we do have many facets of who we are. Mothers, workers, and I believe becoming whole to who we really are and present ourselves to the world will bring healing to those around us, healing to anybody we interact with. And it's a matter of not me knowing everything, but the piece of what I can bring to that relationship so that we all come together as one puzzle, as a world. That's my mindset around where that name came from.
I love it. I have goosebumps again all over, because it's so much the same of how I think that we all have something to offer, and there is no competition. But because no one has, I haven't lived your life experience and you haven't lived my life experience, and we could be teaching the exact same script, but I'm going to translate it differently than you are.
Absolutely.
Someone's going to receive it differently than the next. So I really believe that this is how, the ripple effect will become huge waves and really reach so many people, because there's plenty to go around. There's not too much love ever.
Well, think about, if we can embrace and receive and give at the same time, it is about that, we need to be able to give and take, reciprocity, right? We need to be able to allow both parts to happen without shutting things that are supposed to be given to you as well, to fuel yourself so that you can fuel others. And sometimes you have to give more than what you're receiving, because that's just where your energy level is. And just think about how much more impactful we can be as a society or community if we can just embrace more of that mindset. And we are all teachers, one shape or form, and sometimes we're the student. Right. And I think sometimes there's people that are in that mindset that they are knowing everything. And at that point, we shut ourselves off to being able to receive what's supposed to be given to us.
Yes, you lose so much opportunity. So that's why I really, and this is my whole mission, is to, get rid of the competition and join forces, so that, because I really do think that we can make world change, and globally. And so I'm just trying to draw as much awareness as I can to all the same people who believe in love and light and holistic healing. So tell me a little bit more about your, exactly what you're doing. Do you work one-on-one with clients, or are you?
So right now I'm in the beginning phases, because I'm still doing a 40-hour work week that consumes me a little bit more than we'd like to, because I want to be doing this more 24/7.
Right.
So where I'm going to be doing initially is one-on-one. And I want to capture those that are hurting through transitioning from most likely a eating disorder or breast cancer or something that's happened to their bodies, because that's who I feel like I can truly connect with my experience from being a burn survivor, especially a woman, where my whole chest is burned. So being labeled not suitable for what a woman should look like, because if I'm in a bikini, they don't see my burns as they look at me today, but then when I take off my clothes, it's like a totally different perspective change.
Yeah.
And I remember specifically how I had to protect and cover myself up, because I didn't want to show the real me, because it's it was judgment that was being put out there. So my one-on-one coaching, I want people to allow themselves that even though they're experiencing this change on their body with cancer, I understand what it feels like to feel those feelings. And once I can start to heal those people, I want to collaborate with those types of people and bring a bigger, broader workshop together, so we can capture more of an audience to a broader.
Right.
Yeah.
Really.
So starting small so we can expand.
Yeah, the same. Yeah, I love that. And to me, that's just your beauty to me. You know what I mean? The scars and all of that, makes someone's story. So that is what is your beauty?
It shaped, it shaped me, especially going through, I mean, it was a cycle of going through puberty to in your teenage years. That's hard enough as itself. And then, you know, your relationship with boys, and then it's their perception of what a woman should look like, because that's what they were taught at home. And it's kind of the sandwich effect that you feel from all angles. So I truly feel like I can help those people that are dealing with body images. That's truly who I want to speak to. So much. Especially teenage girls. I mean,
yeah, because my daughter, who there's absolutely nothing, you know, wrong with her at 10, and it starts so young.
It starts extremely young. I've heard 8-year-olds are in eating disorders, and it just breaks my heart. I'm like, where as a society are we okay with that? What kind of image are we presenting to our children by saying that that's acceptable to have in our home? Because anything we bring into our home is going to be what's acceptable.
Yes, and same thing. What I am going back to is it really does start in the home and start in the community and start in the circle. So I think it's so important to include the children and teenagers. And when we're doing this work with ourselves, I think that we shouldn't leave them out, because
absolutely not. Because again, it goes back to your saying, it's like, we're helping everybody outside, but we need to bring it to our kids that are at home, because they're going to be able to bring it out to the world as well. It's not just about just us.
Yes.
It's like if we can teach them, how much bigger and faster we can get to more people.
Yes.
So
beautiful. I love that. Oh wow, I can really see it in my mind's eye. I mean, I can see a book, and I can see that's the way my brain works, visionary.
And I love that. It's like I love being able to think of ideas, and it's like I sometimes have to slow down the process to really just ground myself, because it can get so far-fetched and so not far-fetched, but so perpetual that I need to really just bring it back to basics and start somewhere, and then we'll build on it from there. I need to really structure myself that way, because I can get really woo.
Yeah, the creative side.
Yes, because I'm so free-spirited when it comes to that. It's like, okay, but now let's restructure where we're going to move forward from there, right?
Steps, yes. Kind of what I'm doing. Yeah, so I think that is beautiful. I love what you're doing.
Oh,
love that.
And I think you and I spoke to the whole bringing it back to the home environment is the feng shui part of it. It's
yes,
it truly does. Again, the energy work, that's where it started for me during my healing process of being a burn survivor. I also did a lot of moving as a child, so it was very, very living a dysfunctional alcoholic parent, and just a lot of moving. It was very hard for me to really ground myself. So on top of the being in the hospital, I really found feng shui to really ground me and center me and find that breathing room for myself to really just okay, who am I? What am I? What's, just because all the craziness is going around me and chaos doesn't mean that it has to feel that way inside of me. I think it really kept me sane. I think it kept me sane. Yep. I really do. It was amazing.
I totally relate, and that resonates with me, because I have to do the same thing. I have to arrange, I have to declutter, and I can tell when something's bothering me, because I will see clutter and masking stuff.
Yes.
My divorce happened. I looked in my garage, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's really kind of like a hoarder episode out there, because I didn't want to deal with it, so I just kept putting stuff on top of each other to not have to to deal with it. But
it truly is an extension of who we are. It really is. And
when I started releasing it all, it really is freeing.
It is freeing.
It space for so much more beauty came into my life after that.
And it doesn't mean that it has to look like out of a designer magazine or anything like that. I'm truly believing in repurposing and reusing things that are already in our home environment. It's just a matter of color of paint or different moving of furniture. It's amazing what it can do for you. Candles, the energy from a candle, it just changes, and the lighting, it shifts everything. Yes.
I'll put stuff from my bedroom into a different room. It drives my husband crazy. He's always like, what are you doing?
My husband and my son, actually, they kind of okay, what you do today? My son is actually, when he starts to feel like that, kind of heaviness about it, he's like, can you help me clean my room out or whatever? So he feels it, because I made him very aware of it. So maybe not to the extent of what I do, but it's kind of cool to see.
My children too actually do that. And when Riley, even my 4-year-old, will say, Mom, we need to do something with my room, or
Isn't that great?
Yeah, so
I love that.
they both like to donate their, like when they're getting too many toys, or if they want to get, if they're outgrowing them, they take it upon themselves. They're like, here's a bag for me to
Yeah, because there is that understanding that most people do have too much, but if we can actually give to those that don't have what we have, it's very rewarding.
Yes.
Yeah, we usually do a hand-me-down to his cousins, and he's like, he kind of feels really proud of like, oh, he's got my bike, or it's like kind of cool to see. So
yeah, because that's how I grew up in the country in Kentucky, and we it's just a green thing to do. Like we all handed it down until it couldn't be worn anymore. So I'm glad that it's like making a comeback, because we're
yes. I think Feng Shui has helped with that, where we've actually I'm not saying everybody does, but we're starting to understand that our home life, or what it feels like, if too much stuff kind of clutters us up, we do definitely tend to feel disconnected.
Yes, and suffocating.
Yes, so true. So those are definitely where Piece of Self, I hope, will be able to bring light to. I mean, that will be more of a tool to help those that are going through the transitional phase, and hopefully gain more respect of what value it can bring to people. And so
beautiful. That's I love what you're doing.
Thank you.
Will you have a website, or do you have a Facebook page where people can reach you, or how do you?
Very soon. It's like I will definitely get that to you, Jenny, very quickly. I'm my niece is working on my logo right now. It's in the final stages of that. So once that's up and running, I'm going to post everything, because I want to be able to come out where it's representing who I am, because I think that's important. I don't want to try to do it where it's like, well, I'm kind of doing this on the side. It's like, no, I really am wholeheartedly about this, and I really want to be where it's like I'm doing what I want to do, and it's going to show that it's professional. I don't want it to be where it's like just something.
You want it to be, you are your brand, so you want it to be a representation of.
Thank you. Yes.
Your heart. So
it will definitely be. I want to do a business Facebook page, which I'm working on right now, and it will eventually have maybe a private group where people can feel safe enough to be able to ask questions, especially as a woman. If you have some type of trauma or scars, you want to be able to share that with other women.
Yes.
Yeah, that was one of the big things that I remembered. I felt very alone, especially as a woman, that I didn't feel like I could connect with anybody that had experienced something like that.
Yeah, I did. I mean, it's hard enough when, just being like, I was thinking of growing up and feeling like shy or not perfect and I didn't have anything I had things going on mentally, or whatever, but I never had like scars on my body, but it was difficult. So I never really thought about that, but I'm having
it's huge
awareness to it. And there's so many people out there. Wow. That's
I love those little, I can see your little like ahas going off, and that really means a lot to me, because I feel sometimes, like, oh, it's like, does it really matter? And I'm like, oh, is it really big a message? And I'm like, wait a minute here, this is definitely not from the right place this is coming from. So
it's making me want to cry, and that, I've been around the industry a lot, and I haven't really thought about
Well, I look at my son's girlfriend, and even with your daughter and even my nieces, it's like they struggle enough, and I feel even in their lives, if I can have that part of course, if they can look to me and see that I've survived this, that what they're going through, yes, it matters, but let's put it in perspective. Let's look at our bodies, at what it's doing for us versus what we don't have.
Exactly.
I think that's the biggest piece. We tend to pick apart, like, my arms are not buff enough, my legs, or my whatever body piece that we start to focus on. It is truly a magical, beautiful thing that can.
Miracle. Yes.
It's miracles. We are miracles. So if we're going to start nitpicking what is on the outside, it really doesn't matter. It's more about what we are on the inside. It is about the soul of who we are. And this is just the vessel to bring us to where we need to be. Exactly. And I truly believe that. I really do. I really, really do.
I totally agree. And that's where our beauty is. It has nothing to do with anything that's on the outside. It all comes from the inside.
Yeah. Well, even if we
spreading that message.
Yeah, even when it comes to eating healthy, it's like, yeah, you can't see that, but you know what you're fueling your body with, and it's not about the results of the exterior, it's the results of how you're feeling, of how you're digesting that food, and you're not feeling like uncomfortable because I get an upset belly, or
right.
So really just bring it into perspective. It's like not about eating this so that I can gain this, or eating this so that I can lose 12 pounds, or it's a matter of just like fueling your body with what it needs.
Exactly. Yeah. Nourishing ourselves. I love what you're doing. I'm so happy that we connected, and I'll definitely like be able to post your website and your Facebook thing whenever we do the actual launch of the series. I'll post it on my website and
Fantastic.
out emails, and I'll send it out to. I have a list. My list is like 60,000 people.
Yeah. And going back to that too, Jenny, I love being able to, at some point I can see hopefully being a speaker somewhere. I think being able to just capture the young essence of, or even mothers, how they can help their daughters through something like that. I think that sometimes could be beneficial. Yes. It's like really just like, let's change your perspective of how your message is being presented to your daughter.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes, absolutely. 100%.
So, but I think this is awesome that you're bringing all these wonderful people together through you. This is, I think that's really where I feel that you're going to be that catalyst for people. So that's definitely what I'm picking up on right now. So thank you for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want us to do, I'm going to make like a hub where people can come for all kinds of different energy healing. It'll be some kind of website, but it'll be like my just community contribution. But then I want to do virtual retreats, and then eventually I want to start with one like live retreat a year, and then do it, 2 times. And
virtual retreat. I love that.
Yes.
Love that. Now, where do you foresee yourself doing like a live retreat? Like, do you have it in your Florida area? Or are you thinking somewhere more?
I have a lot of contacts from when I was in the 5-star, when I did like destination luxury resort and spas.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of contacts from that. So they're like already like lined up in my head of where we could do. And I want to do them all over. Like I want to do them in the little town in Kentucky that I was from, because there's so much like medicine in the mountains there. And
beautiful.
To, like take time to like actually go and like get the herbs and make tinctures and, like really, I think that there's a different kind of medicine all over in nature and in the desert. And I think there's, in the mountains, and I think at the ocean. So I want to like call in all the directions, like going back to Native American.
I was just going to say that's exactly what I remember this gentleman speaking to all the different directions. Yes, I think that's key.
And then medicine, and then I want the retreats to like follow that. So I want them, and I want mothers to be able to bring their families, and they'll go do like their own work. And then the mother will do her own work during the day, or you can bring your husband, and then, in the evening time, do something like a family circle.
I love that. It's interesting you mentioned that. Speaking to the body image thing, I can see, just a blurb of an idea that came to me in the past was having mother-daughter retreats, because of the disconnect of the relationships, that the daughter is trying to be that independent person, and the mother sees it being the way that they want him to be. And it's a big clash that's going on out there. It's very, very sad. And I think that's can help the younger ones heal, if we can just heal the ones that are giving them the wrong message sometimes.
Right. Yes. I totally agree. I look at my neighborhood, and I live in a nice place, and I'm like, parents just don't really parent anymore, and they're
not inclusive.
Like, worried about their own social life, and their children are just, the device is raising them. So, which is nothing how I was raised. So I really think it's important to like really go back to the basics and like core elements of.
Yeah. Yes. Sounds like we have a lot that we can collaborate on, and I would look forward to going and doing more with you on something like that. So
For sure. It's in the plan. That, you know.
Yay! Yes, yes, yes.
Wow.
And I do travel quite a bit down to Florida, so maybe we actually can be meeting in person someday. I think that'd be fun too.
Yes, for sure.
I love that.
We all should get together.
Yes.
Ourselves, even, and have a retreat first.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, I thank you for your time, and I hope that we talk again soon. And I will keep you posted with all the launch dates, and there'll be some more like fun promotions and things that are going along with the Spirit.
Absolutely, and once I get up to date with all my information, I will send them your way, and we'll. I look forward to being
making the world, a better place.
Yeah, exactly, making the world a bigger, better place for sure. Thanks for the opportunity, Jenny.
Oh, my pleasure. I'm just going to finish with a poem because I just always.
Oh, yay!
And this one is called "Live in Peace." And it says, "We are not soldiers. Peace runs through our hearts. Wars rage on regardless. We need not take part. Life can be a struggle, a perpetual night, but the sun won't rise quicker if we choose to fight. So let's down our weapons and open our arms, become a safe haven of kindness and calm. Life need not be a battle where we merely survive. We wait to rest in peace. We should live it while we're alive." By Miss Mullum. Yeah.
Beautiful. Another truth. Yes, let's bring us peace for sure.
Namaste, and I appreciate you, and I love you, and I hope that we'll talk soon. Okay, Nancy?
Absolutely, Jenny. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.